Good morning, good noon, good evening, whatever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark, Ali, myself, Isaiah, and together.
That's hip-hop.
That's hip-hop. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Really means a lot to us. Today, guys, we're discussing a group of the people. The Dilated Peoples, that is. Dilated Peoples played a crucial role in shaping and popularizing underground hip-hop in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Their commitment to authentic lyrical content and a raw boom-bap sound helped define the genre's aesthetic during this period. And the group is known for their emphasis on intricate wordplay and thoughtful, introspective lyrics. This group focuses on lyrical depth and has influenced a generation of MCs who admire their dedication to the craft and their ability to blend personal storytelling with broader social commentary. But on the real, Dilated Peoples is one of those groups that helped fill the gaps for a lot of people, particularly for myself. Coming from the West Coast, Southern California, close to LA, very close to LA, the sound that we were getting a lot was G-Funk. It was starting to popularize, and we were kind of getting lost in the G-Funk sauce because it was working, it was getting big, and it was gangsta and all that stuff. Lowriders, I mean, the whole aesthetic. But there were groups such as Dilated Peoples who came out of LA who had a raw, underground, authentic sound, and that was dope. And something that I related to coming from California, SoCal, you know, that sound really related to me. It gravitated to me because, you know, I'm not out there gangbanging, you know, and although that sound, sometimes I like listening to that kind of music, you know, there was still a desire for a different sound, one that was more closer to the way I live, my lifestyle. And that was Dilated Peoples. You know, there was other groups like the Alcoholics, Liquid's Crew. Like there was like this rise of this movement of these like conscious groups. And it was just like a vibe, like early on in that time period, you know, that was pretty dope to me. I also remember hearing Main Event. That was the first time I ever heard Dilated Peoples. And that was on Knockout Kings.
Yeah.
So even in video games, man.
Before Fight Nights,
Knockout Kings, yep.
Man, and I mean, I loved playing Knockout. I love playing boxing games, period. But that game right there, man, that soundtrack to that, like, I never knew who Dilated Peoples was. And I'm just hearing this, I'm like, damn, this track is sick. Yeah. And that was my first introduction. But then it also led to me finding Worst Comes to Worst. And me finding that through LimeWire. And I was just like, whoa, what's the sound? And then me being introduced to the Alchemist, you know, and kind of learning about what he was about. Like this group plus Alchemist, they were like the first records ever that Alchemist had on wax. And you hear the name Alchemist today, dude's a freaking living legend today. Yeah. Right. So for me, Dilated Peoples is a very important group in the early 2000s, late 90s. They were a group that kind of helped fill those gaps, and they've worked with tons of artists who I think ultimately they've influenced. You know, their dynamics also pretty dope with the DJ Babu, you know, killing it. I mean, that brings it even back to the older, like that's relatable to Run DMC, even like that style.
Yep. Being Rakaa.
You know? Yeah. And then also Rakaa being with the Rocksteady crew. I mean, there's just so many ties. So today we're discussing their debut album, The Platform, released May 23rd, 2000 through Capitol Records. Production was handled by members Evidence and DJ Babu, as well as The Alchemist, Joey Chavez, E. Swift, T-Ray, and it features guest appearances from Be Real, Everlast, Liquid Crew, Defari, Feel the Agony, Planet Asia, The Alcoholics, and also AC Alone.
Oh, AC Alone?
AC Alone, there you go. The album represents a movement of several California groups. that, stray away from the violence and misogyny of gangster rap towards a more traditional, conscious form of rap. The album debuted at number 74 on the Billboard 200 and 30 on the top R&B hip-hop albums in the United States. It also made number 89 on the UK albums chart, which is also something to note. The first single out of this was going to be The Platform, and then also Work the Angles. Those were the two singles. And the album is an hour, 4 minutes, and 20 seconds. What was it like for you, Ali? Like first hearing Dilated Peoples?
Yeah, my first introduction to Dilated Peoples was the song they had, This Way with Kanye West. That was like, I think 04. So this is when Kanye is like the hottest new artist out. College Dropout just dropped. I mean, he's the hottest thing out, literally. So not only was his album making a lot of rounds, but he was doing features with a lot of acts that were like perceived as underground and really giving a lot of them their biggest hits at the times, honestly. He did Selfish with Slum Village, and then he did This Way with Dilated Peoples. So, which, I mean, unfortunately with what he said on Drink Champs, I kind of give a side eye to that era a little bit, but when he kind of said he was like using the underground backpack to kind of get in the game because he wasn't a gangster rapper. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But I can't discredit the music from that time. And to see him collaborate, like I said, with Slum Village, who I already was a fan of, but then Dilated Peoples, who I hadn't really gotten into at all. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, the song was dope. And I said, okay, let me, kind of check them out a little bit. And I feel like for me, while I wasn't a huge, I didn't really dive into their catalog as a group per se, but the conglomerate they represented as a whole is what I drew to from the Alchemist, when he started doing stuff with like Prodigy, the album, he did a mixtape with Currency that's now on DSPs finally, all the stuff he's done with, Griselda and Kendrick and just everything Alchemist has done. Like this for me was kind of diving into that and being aware of who he was. And then even like Evidence, Evidence as a MC and producer. Again, he's, done stuff with Griselda and Fonte from Little Brother when he was on his solo album. So for me, that was more my connection with Dilated Peoples, kind of the things that they've done kind of outside the group, some of the members and some of those, frequent collaborators. So that's kind of what my connection is. But in getting into this album, it's refreshing to, obviously I knew who they were, but I hadn't really, like I said, dove into their catalog. But knowing that the West Coast had, this other sound that we know, in LA in particular, not just the West Coast, but LA in particular, that it wasn't all just the gangster stuff, the Ice Cube, NWA, Dre, all of that. Again, love it all. It's a lot of my favorite music. Yep. But to know that we have other sounds and we have other things to contribute to hip hop and Dilated Peoples, and for me before that, The Far Side was kind of that first kind of other, side of the train. I
liked Murs too. I think
Murs, what I'm saying? Yeah. So
when
Murs came out, absolutely. So like knowing that we had these other, elements to the West Coast, to me, they were like from The Far Side to Dilated Peoples to Murs. I feel like that was like the precursor to like kind of the alternative side to what ended up becoming eventually TDE. I feel like this was like the forefathers of that. Yeah. Somewhat, to what would eventually become like Kendrick and Ab-Soul as like the biggest examples of what that initial movement kicked off.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? What was the first time you got to...
We also thought we had Benefit on the West Coast for a while. In the 2000s.
We didn't know.
Everyone did.
Benefit, Sediment, Evidence, and Alchemist.
Sediment. So we have this running joke now.
They all look the same.
we did name a lot of light-skinned MCs, except for AC alone.
Right.
I gotta say that.
Atmosphere, throw an atmosphere in there.
Aesop Rock.
Yeah, Aesop Rock.
Man.
So with no
disrespect, we're just joking.
The running joke of Sediment, real quick, just to give you guys a pleasure. Like Isaiah and I were hanging out at our favorite pizza spot, and we were talking about just like we were talking about a story about Valda's brother and our friend Jesse. And the fact it ultimately came to ultimately came to the point where Isaiah's brother Chuck was drinking the sediment of glass from his drink after, something happened to where he actually had the sediment of glass in his drink.
Wow, that story made
and we were just like, sediment.
His wife for sure better not watch this episode.
Yeah. It ultimately came to the word sediment. And I haven't heard sediment in a long time except for science class. And I was just like, bro, what if that was some dude's rap name? Like, yo, it's sediment. And I just took all the benefit lines and just replaced it with sediment. And we were laughing for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, benefits like alter ego, brother.
Sediment. But with answering your question about Dilated Peoples, throughout listening to a bunch of underground, especially around in the 2000s, you're going to get shot over to New York, brought back over to Chicago a little bit with just the MCs that are there. And then you get brought back down to LA.
Yeah.
The Alcoholics, you have Planet Asia, as you mentioned, AC Alone, LA native as well with his group too. The thing to remember about Dilated Peoples is that they weren't mainstream, but they were going to be on the underground tip of like everyone asking. After people stopped asking about like Jedi Mind Trick, Immortal Technique, people were going to ask you about Dilated Peoples.
Yeah.
That kind of like gave you the stamp of approval if you've actually listened to like legitimate hip hop in the West Coast around that time. Now, the one thing that I really enjoed about,
because they weren't like mainstream, but they were known enough where they had a name.
And it kind of got you, kind of got you valid to these hip hop circles that you're talking with,
right?
And it's the main consensus that you can get from Dilated Peoples is the fact that they have a very strong base of what they're doing in hip hop, and that's keeping it very, very simple. I was talking about with you guys earlier about the construction of a group, where on my side, if I was going to make a group, I would have it exactly like this. If I was going to do a trio, I'd have 2 MCs and a DJ.
It's not a bad dynamic
because you have the diversity of the DJ, who's also going to have his own fan base, a la DJ Premier, a la Pete Rock, Jam Master Jay, everybody. But then you also have the 2 MCs who aren't independent when they're in the group, but like when they branch out, they'll have their own independent features and all that. That makes them strong. That makes them the strongest structure ever, which is a triangle, which is, a pyramid, if you will. But I'd rather have that than 3 MCs, because 3 MCs, if you have them go on independent, they ain't coming back.
Yeah, most likely what ends up happening is one will break off, have their solo career. The other is going to like be dating Cardi B.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But they kept it simple. And they kept it to where they're going to be consistent all throughout the 2000s, and they're going to be lyrically sound. I even have a point here that Evidence and Rakaa's chemistry is such a treat to have 2 MCs with the same lyrical depth, but both are unique in their own right.
Yeah, they're both distinctive. Yeah.
They both kind of match the same threshold of lyricism, but they're both different in their ways.
Yeah, true.
And so that's something you could appreciate. And also you have the DJ is the producer as well sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you have Alchemist as your stepbrother for Evidence.
Man.
And peace to Alchemist for having one of the illest producer names.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that out. Like calling yourself the Alchemist and you produce beats.
For everybody who's listening, I didn't know this. Ali didn't know this either.
Nope.
That they're even related, Alchemist and
Evidence.
So
that was no clue.
Yeah, that was a bomb that was dropped on me. I do have a personal connection with Dilated Peoples too, because they were one of those groups that I was fortunate enough to open up for and back in my heyday and doing shows and stuff.
Okay,
that's right.
At the Roxy,
in LA.
It was at the Roxy in LA.
Okay.
And that I had a fond memory of that. We had a great dope show. We rehearsed, practiced it, had it knit tight, and came out great. I had a recording of it, and it was posted on my MySpace.
Damn.
And now that's like obsolete. They like MySpace just like removed it or whatever.
Yeah.
But my memories of that is we had a dope show. I killed it on one of are songs where I have like a longer verse. I killed it. I remember there was people clapping and stuff. You know, my brother was there in the crowd. My cousins were there in the crowd. Some friends were there in the crowd. I think, you know, someone who I was dating at the time was in the crowd. And then after we get off, I think we went in the back to Cypher, just a freestyle Cypher in the back. And then Evidence joins us. And I was kidding. No, I'm just playing. No, I was kidding. No, he didn't join us. But then we would go back and it was Evidence, Babu, Rakaa, killing it. Just, dude, when I say killing it, the whole crowd was so hyped when they got in.
They're wild, bro.
They were so hyped. Matter of fact, my brother wanted to beat somebody up because it's like the person next to us was, I don't know if he was on ecstasy or what. Dude was like way too hyped. He was about to get beat up.
Yeah.
How to not stop my brother. But that I remember that Alchemist even popped out.
That's dope.
Yeah, he had like Alchemist had like a red cup, and he's just in the back like, and I was just like, damn, that's sick. And we had the opportunity to even like go in the back and actually meet them. Weirdly enough, though, because I was like, what, 20, 21, 22. I was just like, nah, I'm tired. I'm going to go, la. Like, crazy, right? That I wouldn't, but like now I would have for sure waited. But that was also a dope memory, and it will always, you know, have that kind of connection to Dilated Peoples as well.
That's
just
dope.
because I love the chemistry. I love their dynamic. Going into style, to me, Rakaa and Evidence feel like, to me, like Superman and Batman. Where Evidence to me would be a Batman because he's kind of more serious, more brooding, you know, very kind of personal, and you know, he's kind of more for like justice. You know, Evidence, he often explores those, you know, and reflects on different themes like that. Whereas Rakaa, I feel like he's kind of powerful, more impactful, more assertive, you know, and I feel like he's kind of more of like that figure when it comes to the duo, this powerful duo. You got the Superman and you got the Batman. Both of them you don't want to F with.
Yeah.
You don't want to fuck with
for different reasons.
Yeah, for different reasons. But to me, that's like what they represent to me. Like that's their superpowers. It's like they complement each other, like you were saying, so well in their dynamics. There was a interview where he was with Talib Kweli, Evidence, and Talib Kweli was saying something to the fact of, you know, typically, you know, one might see like a white rapper like as a culture vulture or whatever, and he was just saying like, but like when I listen to you, I don't get that. I don't feel that. He goes, why do you think that is? Like
he gonna ask him.
Not in that way, but like
why don't you think I feel like
why don't I feel like you're a culture vulture?
And he didn't say it like that, but he had his way of putting it.
And that's nuts too, because Talib Kweli's always like, he's always the poster boy for like, he'll call a vulture out.
Oh yeah, he will.
But
Yeah.
sorry,
Go ahead.
but on the same tip, he'll give it up though. He's not the one to like.
Yep.
Absolutely.
He's not just gonna jump out there and call any dude that's white rapping a culture vulture. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people do that too, and that's not the move.
I like what Evidence said though. He was like, you know, it's funny because I just grew up around like, I think it was like in the Santa Monica, Venice Beach scenes. And it was just like, nah, I don't know. That's just where I grew up. It's just how I am. He goes, I'm just me. But he goes, there was an interesting time where I was around Rakaa and another one of his friends, and he was talking, we were chilling one time, smoking, I think. It was like, we were talking about, you know, something, the fact that he was just getting out, prison, whatever. And he asked the guys like, what did you do? Or something to that effect. And Rakaa pulls him to the side. He goes, hey, can I talk to you real quick? He goes, you don't come at people like that. He goes, you got to phrase it like what they got you for. Or something like that.
Like, what did you do?
To like phrase it better.
Almost makes it like sound like you were a cop or something.
Right. Which was pretty though insightful to their dynamic, you know, and like how they work together, the chemistry, like they trust each other like that. I thought that was dope. From Rakaa's end, I like the fact that he always saw it as like, you know, it's just hip hop, you know, and he that's the way he saw it. Like it should be very diverse, and he welcomes that. That's also pretty cool. Babu also brings another element to the group, and
Right.
just like what he offers to hip hop, to that whole, everything. Like he wants to do production and all that. So that's also dope.
It's interesting to note that if Dilated Peoples honestly like rebooted the platform and just kind of did the same thing that they did, spin it a different way,
Yeah.
but actually kept it with the same system, it would be a breath of fresh air now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
man.
not a lot of people have a DJ on hand to cut in the middle of verses, to substitute their cuts and scratching for the chorus, which is always a good plus, especially if you don't want to write a chorus for a lyrically dense song. Sometimes adding a chorus to a lyrically dense song kind of like takes away from it. So it would be to me, I think it would be a breath of fresh air. Have Dilated Peoples actually like
is there any
keep
like
it
new
to the same
artists?
system.
Is there any new artists with the DJ like that? Like,
I think we're at the
actively promoted.
you're gonna have to have the Jeopardy theme song in the background of this because we're gonna be thinking for a
Oh
little
my
bit.
god, like a legit DJ, like with an actual group. I mean, the closest thing, and it's not even like, because they weren't even an actual group like that for real. But I mean, like when YG first came out, when Mustard did everything. You know what I'm saying? He's probably the closest thing, like a legitimate like DJ that was a producer. Then you
would say Future Metro Boomin then.
Yeah, Metro's a DJ too, so I would say that's probably the modern version. But like,
he's not like a DJ like that though.
Yeah, he's not doing it like cutting like.
Yeah, because he's more known for beat production.
Correct, than actually DJing. You know what I mean? Like Mustard's a DJ, but at the same time, but even him, he's not like cutting and scratching on his beats like that. You know what I mean? Like that's as far as with that element. Nah, it's not really something we really see.
Because even even Babu himself is actually like is able to cut and scratch and produce.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like those are just those defining things that were like where the DJ could just do the DJ thing, but also produce. That's another added element.
Right. Okay. Well, talking about style, like what do you guys see like as far as evidence? How do you see his style, like comparing to other MCs?
I mean, for me, evidence is like, I mean, his style is smooth. He can ride over pretty much any type of beat you need. Like I said, when I heard him on the on Fonte's album, his voice, the beat that was used, I think Ninth Wonder did that beat, and it was just a smooth flow. Wasn't trying too hard. You know what I mean? Like I like those type of MCs that are easy listens, you know what I mean? I feel like Evidence is one of those. And as far as with Evidence and Rakaa together, like, I don't know. I'm just a sucker for a good duo anyway. Yeah. So I mean, whether it's, Little Brother or, Jada and Styles, Meth and Red, like I just love duos. So for diving into this album, it was just a great take just to hear, two different styles, but both super lyrical, and that it's a breath of fresh air, and it's one of those things where it's like it's nostalgic and reminiscent, but it's also kind of like a shame we don't really have that today.
Yeah.
Because I mean, one, just the content that they produce, but also just the fact that the dudes was just nice. Like sometimes it ain't gotta be struggle, sometimes it ain't gotta be flashy. Sometimes you just want to hear good beats and rhymes. Like I just feel like sometimes that's all I need. Like, you know what I mean? Like while they do touch on certain themes and certain songs, but for the most part, a lot of times, a lot of the stuff is just dope rhymes, and that to me is refreshing to hear. Sometimes, like I said, I don't need it to be overly conscious or overly street or overly flashy. Sometimes I just want to hear dope beats and rhymes, and I feel like Dilated Peoples provide that, and they did so on this album.
What you think, Mark? Talk about Evidence and Evidence style.
With his style, it fits on a lot of, if it can fit on any beat, because he can slow down, speed it up. It's neutral in the speed factor. The rhymes, I mean, it's gonna be hard to find a West Coast rhymer that's as good as Evidence right then and there on the platform, around the platform time.
Because I would say the tracks leading up to this album, the 12-inch, that they were dropping before that, bangers, like that. I think is like probably the sharpest I heard Rakaa and him on like their first verse stuff, like crazy. You know, it's like hearing 50 Cent on his first like mixtapes, leading up to, you know,
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying. Like that was fire, 50 Cent.
Yeah.
But Evidence to me has like a slower, he's definitely one of those slower MCs who like takes his time with it.
Yeah.
You know, where like I think of people like EPMD, kind of more on that slow vibe, you know, Master Ace.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, could just kind of be steady, but, you know, but he's going to always bring the consistency to it. Like it's going to always be hidden.
Yeah. Having it slow like that, it's, I look at hip hop and rhyming as like taming a beast.
Yeah.
If you're able to, you know, maneuver your delivery to fit the exact snares of the beat.
Yeah.
Dude, fitting the end so perfectly like that and being consistent, that's much as a pleasure to hear than like, you know, spazzing out on a verse and like kind of like getting off on the beat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
That always works more than it does the other.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because it almost feels like they're talking to you, like it's a conversation. Like, you know, more than it's just them in their zone in a song. Yeah. It's like they're conversating with you.
And by them slowing down the lyrics, by default, the rhymes are going to be more memorable.
Right, right. Yeah.
So it enhances the replay value even at a subconscious level.
Yeah. Talking about Rakaa now, on his style and how it complements Evidence. What do you guys think about his style?
I mean, for me, it's like again, it's like that yin and yang, like, you know, whereas, like I said, I feel like Evidence is smoother. I feel like Rakaa's a little more, like, not necessarily in content, but in style, a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
But it's a healthy, I don't know, it's like, it's a good aggressive where it's not like, again, it doesn't overpower the beat, but it does kind of bring up, you know what I mean, the
assertiveness.
Yeah, it's like if it was two dudes that sounded like Evidence, it still would be dope. Right. But to have that contrast in delivery and vocal, it's like, okay, it feels like, you know, you're not getting, even though they're a group and there's synergy there, it feels like, okay, this is legitimately two artists with distinct voices, distinct patterns. It's like, okay, I can tell which is which, even if I didn't even know who the group was.
The energy balances it because I feel like Rakaa comes in with a little bit more higher energy. And whereas, you know, Evidence will kind of like just kind of be at his own tempo with it, you know. Yeah. No matter where the beat's at, he's going to still be riding his
kind of like
tempo.
Tip and Fife, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how Tip was more mellow, Fife was a little more animated.
More aggressive and animated, with it.
And then we just have the same point that I brought up again. I mean, both are very lyrically at the same level, but Rakaa's going to be the one that you notice a little bit more where Evidence will decide to stay at the middle point. You could see who the more aggressive, the more the little difference in this overall style is.
Both I think are articulated. Both are artistic as well. They both started as graffiti artists in the hip hop space before getting into the music itself. So I always thought that was also something to note. You know, like they're both artists, like kind of first. You know, before even MCs. And I like that. I think there was a period of time, like when IG first started, Evidence was like one of the first like people to kind of, because it was more about art at the time, like more about photography,
his graph art,
more about photography and all that at first. So that was also something that was pretty dope about the group is like, you know, they're kind of based around that. Their logo is also pretty dope. I like the kind of like big eye thing, like the character that they got.
It's that double meaning.
Yeah. And then when you got Babu, that kind of just like feels like that's the foundation of it. Like that's what kind of holds it all together. When you got Babu, you know, he wasn't right away onto the group until like the first album, their debut album. But he also adds, you know, just some more character to it, to this mix, you know. Some people thought that Defari was a part of the group because he was on their first track. I actually thought that would have been a pretty good group, like those three. Yeah. That would have been a pretty dope group. But the two alone are very distinctive, and I think they hold their own weight. Nowadays, I think Evidence has done his own tracks or his own albums, I think. He's working on his own solo projects. I'm not sure about Rakaa, but I know he's doing his own thing.
You know, Evidence does, you know, he produces as well.
Yeah, produces. Oh yeah, so he produced one of the tracks on College Dropout, which was Last Call. Which that's pretty cool. That's I think he won a Grammy off of that.
Oh yeah, because the album won Best Rap Album.
Yeah. So that's pretty crazy.
Yep, and he did a song on I don't know if it was Hitler 6 or 7. I think it was Hitler 6.
Oh yeah, so he
for
did
West Side Gun.
He did a track for West Side Gun too.
In West Side Gun fashion, he named it. It just named it Evidence Joint.
Damn, that's pretty crazy.
That's it. Like nothing.
That's pretty
crazy. Just the joint Evidence did, so it's just named Evidence
guys,
Joint.
I don't know if you guys heard the story because this is on Tyler's podcast, but he was talking about how his neighbor was Quincy Jones.
Whoa.
And he went over to like Quincy Jones' house, and I guess he was like showing him like the soundtrack he was working on for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh wow,
that's pretty crazy. And then he said that he would go there and chill, and then, or sometimes he would see like Too Short going there, or he would see Ice Cube going there, or Everlast. He would just like see all these guys go there, and he would just like kick it there sometimes.
One thing about Quincy Jones, he's very tapped into hip hop. Like, even though he's generations before, like he never looked down on hip hop where a lot of people his age would or could have. He was very open and welcoming with hip hop and all that, giving game, all that kind of stuff. So I just
that's pretty crazy.
There.
And it's crazy. Another thing to mention too, like the last studio album that Frank Sinatra produced. I mean, the Frank Sinatra actually had Quincy Jones produced it.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like he's kind of like Quincy's everywhere.
That's
kind of cool,
a guru
man.
People will go to.
For sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. So let's talk about the album cover, Dilated Peoples, the platform.
Mm-hmm.
You have that at the top, and then you have there in the subway. Well, actually, Dilated Peoples isn't in this album cover. It's just a picture of the underground subway in LA. Few actually know that we have an underground subway in LA.
And fewer actually want to go on it and not get stabbed.
So, and then you have Dilated Peoples, our logo, which is the all-seeing eye sort of on the body, right?
Yeah.
And then you have like kind of this map that's all kind of coming to a center point, which is to their logo, which is pretty cool.
Where the eye is essentially the Grand Central Station of the
each direction you have the title, the tracks of the album
being stops.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. Yeah.
So you see the subway lines. You see the general meeting point is the iris. Of the dilated pupil, which is Dilated Peoples.
Yeah.
The track listings are the stops throughout the where like all the stops would be tracks taking you to a destination. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
kind of cool. And then where the center point again. That's I've always liked the idea of this. I thought this was a sharp album design. And then even after that, even further in the background, you have the actual subway station in the back.
And this is kind of just metaphorical. It's underground.
Mm-hmm. There it is. Underground LA. There you go.
That's also pretty dope. I want to find a website that shows us also like the back covers and the inside, because there's more artwork. The cover's not the only piece, but what do you guys think? How is this cover you think significant, or how does it relate to the platform as the album title?
Well, the platform's going to be where the people are standing on.
Mm-hmm.
That's called the platform.
It's literally the platform.
Yeah, that's called the platform. So it's going to be the waiting area. Pretty much the waiting area before the train takes you to the destination. So yeah, you'll hear like in NYC, you'll hear the bing bong, and then like step away from the platform as the train comes in, stuff like that.
Right.
Bing bong for the Knicks, baby. Just had to do that. Sorry, guys.
Just had to do that. That's kind of cool too, because the train, them waiting or on this platform. Also, another symbol could be like them getting on the train before the train takes off. They're on this platform.
Yeah.
Before they get into the train, and the train is their career or whatever.
And each stop is one of the songs on the album.
One of the songs on the album. That's pretty dope. Also, I think what's also cool is like when you look at their second album, it's of the airport. So it's like, they started underground, but now they're expanding.
They're taking flight.
They're taking flight.
The terminal. Is it called the terminal? What is it called?
No, expansion team, I think, or something.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
The rental car, the third album.
the third album, the rental car. So that's also pretty dope. Moving on to what this point in our segment is where we actually get into 3 tracks of the album, and we usually will cover the lyrics and go into the meaning and the impact of the songs. But before we do that, there's a couple of things I want to have a one-on-one talk with you guys on. And you know what's coming. You know, it's that point in the show where you haven't followed, you haven't subscribed, you haven't liked. And, you know, we're not here to shame you because we get it. Like, you know, it's a whole ass effort to move your thumb and to hit the subscribe button. I know it. We've all been there.
To drop a like.
It's a freaking effort.
Yeah.
But right now, we're not going to, like, you know, pressure you to do anything or nothing. In fact, we don't even want to ask you to do it.
Do reverse psychology, right? Don't do it.
I dare you to do it. No, I'm just kidding. But
yeah, this is
This is close to 600.
Yeah, it's a tough market because we even in hip hop in general, for a guy to be a fan of another guy rapper, that's like the ultimate yielding of such. So in the sense of where the listeners actually, well, I have to say it in this kind of comparison, just yield and subscribe and just be a fan. That's it. Like 599 people are already on the boat.
I was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like but it's true. It's like you look at the early days of rappers.
Yield and subscribe. We're selling it now.
No, but it's like you could take a look at this. We're gonna look at this 5-10 years from now and be at mad subscribers. But this is the early stuff. This is us, you know, honestly taking a blunt approach to it. But
we're still on the platform.
Yeah, we're still on the platform before we go to the destination.
Yeah, so hit the subscribe button for us, please. And you know what? We're gonna leave a comment. We'll shout you out. You know, and just thank you from the bottom of our hearts because, you know, it's been a journey, and it's a journey that we're including everybody on. Like, this isn't just our journey. This is our journey. So, and then before we also move on, a couple other things to make note of. You know, I'm going to go do it in reverse order this time. Ali has a book out. Very dope. You can pick it up on Amazon. Ali, let them know a little bit what it's about and just where they need to go.
Absolutely. Restoring the Feeling, my first poetry book. It's digital only. You can get it Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, anywhere you can get digital books. Check it out. It's a very unique perspective on, like, relationships and things like that. So just kind of check that out.
Also follow him if you want to know about sports, hip hop, I mean, dude,
wrestling,
free.
Got it all.
Jordans, what?
Check my stories out. I post all kind of shit in there,
clothing, fashion, whatever.
I post all kind of shit, man. I ain't gonna lie.
And then Mark also has a business, guys, a pin business. You've heard me talking about it. But you haven't checked it out yet.
I'm just gonna come in here with one of the boards next time. Just like the Notorious Pin. I'm gonna do that.
Just have the board sitting here.
Just have the board here. But the Notorious Pin. We're on year 8 of this journey of me and the pin business. I collected it. I started collecting pins. Now I'm making them, and you can find them either online at thenotoriouspin.com or on Instagram at elnotoriouspin. You can find them all over the LA area. Piece to Game Tower, Toys of the Universe, Torres Tony at Frank & Sons. And we have the shop in downtown Pomona, the Ontario Mills Mall, the piece to Cream Soda Supply for that. Game Hogs as well. So wherever you guys are at in the greater LA area, there's going to be a place to
underground subway
that's going to have our pins. I will never sell anything in the underground subway of the LA
Let's be clear.
Subway. Not unless I have like 4 phone books taped to me to my stomach, avoid getting stabbed. But yeah, support. I'm gonna go for it. Support a Latino-owned small business.
That's right.
You hear that, Governor Newsom? Anyways, I want to thank you guys again for listening on the show. We really do appreciate it. I mean, hitting 600 subscribers is no easy thing to do, and it's because of you guys that showed belief in the show and who actually, cared about what we were doing. And big ups to, I want to say big ups to first and foremost to Wordsworth for also putting us on and
most
for
definitely.
getting us some guests.
Yeah.
And that in itself was dope. Peace to Ayatollah for even doing an interview with us. DCQ.
Cannabis for
giving
us props.
Yeah.
Necro
for also commenting. Master Ace
Master
shared our
Ace.
stuff sometimes.
Oh man, that's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DOS Effects.
DOS Effects also shared us.
Yeah, DOS Effects also shared us.
Yeah.
Come on, man, we legit, bro.
Yeah.
Like we got
Yeah.
like legit.
But I mean, you'd have to know hip hop to know those names. So we just hope that if you ran your circles around hip hop, you'd know those gentlemen.
That's real.
Anyways, peace to everybody for helping us out and subscribing.
Also, too, you guys got to figure out where you guys are getting your hip hop podcast from. Whereas every 5 episodes, we actually do catch rec off the top of the dome. Every 5 episodes, we go a little bit. We go around the circle, the cipher, and we kick rhymes.
Verse is the worst. It takes you to the hearse of the burst. Yeah.
So yeah, just always consider that too, man, because that's something that we hold very highly. It's one of our core principles of what we like to do on the show is to keep that going, because freestyling is an incredible part of hip hop. It's a beautiful part of it.
Oh yes, definitely, indeed. Man.
Most of these podcasters ain't rapping.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saying.
We're not just talking the yap. Like, we do this as well. So that's also something to say. So we're choosing 3 tracks. We're going to first going to the platform. Second one is going to be Main Event. Third one is going to be Eardrums Pop. This album in general hits hard, man. And you can listen to this from start to finish. Like Ali said, you're just going to get some good beats, some good lyrical content. And you don't have to try so hard. You're not, if you want to listen in on what they're actually saying, it's not too difficult to get.
Nope.
So that's also pretty dope. So we're going into the first track, which is going to be The Platform. I'm going to have to play a little catch up to get to the lyrics. But if one of you guys can start that one. Oh, yeah. First and foremost, I want to give big ups to the producer of this, which is Alchemist. Alchemist making this first beat.
Al the Chemist.
Yeah, that's a sick one. So we're going to drop The Platform. Go ahead if one of you guys got it first.
Doggo. Ayo, The Platform. Watch the stormtroopers swarm. The Death Star is more than the devilish dawn. It's where evil and the force manifest their form. It's no good without bad and no night without morn. Woof.
Yeah.
It's relativity, balanced ability. It's creativity, talent's ability. Rakaa shift the modes of the wizard and the warrior. Hip hop up and move the strike like a lawyer. Quick to be like fuck a rapper. After what I'm after. Friendly how you front, but behind me talking backwards. Basically, I'm down to build, but stay ready for battle. Plus most of you going, cattle. The catalyst never rocked the mic in vain. Energy ain't created or destroyed, it's changed.
Yeah.
Energy ain't created or destroyed, it's changed. The dilated peoples hit you with the big bang and theories that the red shift couldn't explain. Platform.
So in the beginning, we have a lot of allusions to Star Wars, talking about the contrast of light and day.
Right.
The Death Star's more than the devilish dawn, where the Death Star was actually, if you take it at its core, meaning the star.
Right.
And the devilish dawn, basically the darkest of the dark. Whereas evil and the force manifest their form. So evil and the force, you can go with the force of the Jedi, all that good stuff. The contrast again, good without bad, no night without morn.
Yeah, talking about the yin yang philosophy, in other words.
Yeah. The I'm thinking they're alluding to the Nintendo game Wizards and Warriors, where it's shifting the modes of the wizard and the warrior, which can also be a point in Dungeons and Dragons where you can change the class of class of your type after every game. You can go from wizard and warrior.
Shout out Genius. It literally says in original Dungeons and Dragons, the elf class chose whether it was playing as a magic user or as a fighter at the beginning of every day.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so the elf can do that. Yeah, the elf can actually be magic or a warrior. That's cool.
But see, this is so different from what you're talking about
within the first verse.
Yeah, and G-Funk and everything.
You're going way left.
Yeah.
Even going in with the law of thermodynamics, energy ain't created or destroyed, it's changed. So anytime something happens where, like, even for the theory of death, like say if we die, our soul doesn't die. one of the theories of reincarnation is that our soul gets transferred to another being, to another vessel, to whereas it's the energy that never gets destroyed.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. This is very dense lyricism.
Yeah, there's depth here.
Yeah.
There's themes you could explore deeper, like if you wanted to go into them deeper. But definitely you have the depth already right off the bat.
Yeah.
Chorus, ayo, the platform takes respect to perfect the art form. At times a battleground where rappers get their hearts torn. You want, and I like that because, that's set in the ground. It kind of reminds me of, the corner from Common. Yeah, like, kind of describing like what it's like on the battleground. Yeah. Or you could refer to Guru's The Arena, Step in the Arena, like just like that. You want a front war, you done nothing. Ayo, the platform takes respect to perfect the art form. At times a battleground where rappers get their hearts torn. You want a front war, you done nothing. Reminds me also of Jedi Mind Tricks. Like they're very big on the art form of hip hop. Cause when I step off, then step back on, son, you'll never catch me preaching when I'm not practicing. World War II platform, the illest flows. Just dropped World War II on them. I know my hunger's real. I still get nausea at shows. That's dope. That's very dope. Shows even the humility. Still to this day.
Still get nauseous at shows, man.
My motto, I didn't write, but this I quote, it ain't where you put your words, it's where you don't. Big line. Big line.
That's deep.
Big one right there. I think it was Talib who said like that line really inspired him because he's one to fit words in little spots and places. And he goes, man, when I heard that, it made me think about that a little bit. End quote. And with this in mind, I bring flows more rare than black quarterbacks.
Okay, so this is a very dated
reference.
Yeah, because now
half the league is black quarterbacks. Yeah. But yes, in 2000 it was like 3.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never got sacked or pushed 10 yards back. We could go rhyme for rhyme, line for line, or track for track.
I love when rappers do that, man.
And after that, the crowd will react to the future where my magnetic attract. 2020, confusion, no doubt. I catch the story of your life on VH1 where they out now. VH1, man. Remember
that's kind of it could be one on Vanilla Ice and Hammer.
Yeah,
they used to be. They were on the show.
Yeah. And as for mine, I'll be 60. I'm a prime. Still science and theories and dropping rhymes on time. Platform.
That's hard.
Yeah,
that's hard.
I don't know why, but for some reason, this is coming to mind. I heard Inspector Deck talk about when he was rapping and stuff early with Wu-Tang. He ran into a group of folks, young college folks, and they were like, spit something for the college people, man. We want to hear that educated stuff. And he goes, all right, And that's how he started to kind of muster up the Socrates philosophies and hypotheses. And I kind of see a little bit of that in Dilated Peoples because, it almost feels youthful, like in that college space almost.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about kind of the people and things that they're talking about deeper things. And it feels like a positive force coming into the game. Whereas a lot of times in hip hop, you have kind of this negative energy, chip on your shoulder, cannabis, I'm going to rip everybody, and the way they're coming with it is a different angle. It's more of a positive angle, which is different.
Another thing I like that they do in this song is when they make a reference, they don't leave it at one line or one bar. Yeah. They'll stretch the 2 to 3 lines or 2 or 3 bars. Even like a lot of rappers, they'll say something like maybe someone else said, I bring flows more rare than black quarterbacks. They end it there.
Yeah.
But then he goes, I never get sacked or push 10 yards back.
Still
keep that football
examples.
Analogy to another line. I love that they did that on that. I love that he did that.
That's true. Going on to
verse
Rakaa.
3. Yeah. Hey, yo, I seen apathy meant love and no hate. I'm heavy on the mic. Can you handle the weight? Either you learn to adapt or you seal in your fate. Only brave when you get more dusted than home plate. So, when you're at home plate, the umpire's going to be dusting the plate off a bunch of times during the game. Rocking D&D with the Alchemist and Babs. And after the lab, we sent Ev to catch the cab. Platform troop.
Send evidence to catch a cab.
Yeah. Platform troop, make moves and stay true. Rock steady Zulu creates a devastate crew.
Yeah, so he was with Rocksteady and Zulu Nation, huh? That's pretty crazy. Before
all
even
the groups.
Yeah, before even forming up with Evidence here, that's pretty dope.
Shout out Zulu Nation.
Yeah. And shout out for Evidence for finding Rakaa like that, just like recruitment. Like, that's sick. Evidence, I platform my strategy, mix words like alchemy. Evidence, I won't get caught shot on the balcony. Crazy. I won't get caught shot on the balcony.
MLK.
Between you and I, and then Abraham Lincoln too, I guess. Between you and I, I'll tell you. Here's a different gun to your head. You're dead. Point blank. I shape shift. That's right. Study chemistry like AI. In life, use your potential. Or Steve Howe. AI. What
I think he said Al. Chemistry like Al, like Alchemist.
Okay. Oh yeah. That makes sense now. I was like AI. How does he know about AI so early? This dude's ahead of his time. In life, use your potential or Steve Howe. I'm about to call it quits. Oh, wait, who's Steve Howe? In life, use your potential or Steve Howe. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Yeah. I'm about to call it quits. Like too much weight will break your rack mount. And man, make your move, yo. You make your move back out.
So I guess he was a musician.
Yeah, musician.
Okay, a musician. Yo, the platform takes respect to perfect the art form. Yo, yeah, and the beat, man. If you heard the beat, man. I don't even think we're doing it justice. You hear this beat, blows everything out the water.
Right,
it's banging.
We're doing our best. We're doing our best job, but that hearing it over that beat, they really brought it.
Yeah, they killed it. And then also too, listen to the tracks "Confidence," "Third Degree." I mean, bangers. And that was Alchemist's first records that went onto Wax. Even those right there, boom, bangers. Okay, we're moving on to main event. Main event, another banger. But before we go on to that, there's also No Retreat, which is a banger. Love and War, Marathon.
Who produced the main event? Was it Alchemist or?
That was the Alchemist.
Alchemist did this one too. Okay.
The Alchemist on that one.
Okay.
You can start it off.
Yeah, he goes, you better step up. You looking kind of lost, claiming 2 ghetto streets that don't even cross. Woof, that's hard. Claiming 2 ghetto streets that don't even cross. If you didn't know, I'm a true artiste who drops gems like on the run from police. Alias evidence, intensified when live. I understand pace. I understand strive. The only thing worse than lose your title, have it stolen. I treat beats like video games that I'm controlling. My knots get blown at vinyl spots. Wise investment. Create tracks that triple my stacks. Most kids got whack songs but high-tech videos. Damn. Wow. They know that ain't right. That's why the screens turn left. Oh, that's hard too. Flow goes backwards, please. Evidence here to seize. All assets about to bounce from BMI to ASCAP. And ask them cats if they checks ain't paid. Fuck the rain. Evidence I spray raid on your parade. Woo. Man, I mean, the lines are just, man.
That's so iconic to that first line. You better step up. You're looking kind of lost.
Claiming 2 ghetto streets that
don't even cross. That's hard. Like, yeah, I'm from Nostra Nav and Slauson. What?
Those never intersect, buddy.
Yeah, those are 2 different coasts, man.
Yeah, dude, that was really dope verse right there.
Hurry, step right up.
And that too, that reminds me of Primo, like, the way he just like step up.
Come on now.
Yeah, it reminds me of like hurry, step right up.
Because I'm gonna tear shit up.
Yeah. Evolution will mold to different forms. I'll be a double-edged sword. I'll be thorns, or transform to horns on a cattle field. I'm always open like norms. Equipped with battle skills. 2 times I mold to shape the Pentagon. Dilated times 5 is ill. Ring the intercom. Ooh, I like that.
Pentagon 5-sided.
Ooh, Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. 5-sided. Oh, that's pretty crazy. Dilated times 5 is ill. Ring the intercom. I just like the fact of ringing the intercom. Different from rock the bells. Ring the intercom.
That's dope. That's creative.
Evidence or lifestyle or iris style. Got your file. Run. Global detonation is the shape of drums. Under the sun, nothing changes. Dedicated beats and lyrics pages. Dilated peoples, all ages. Suckers dressing flashy, thinking then can you defeat us? Nah, take them out. Wash your Nike with Adidas. Hurry and step right up. We got the Fari in the house, no doubt. KRS-One. My mind is like the Nikon, focusing on shows that I've wrecked. My fast shutter speeds will freeze. They're like moving objects.
Oh, so he's a photography lingo with the Nikon camera, focusing on shows that I've wrecked. My fast shutter speed will freeze the moving object.
Ooh.
Man.
Yeah. Fire.
Sick
So
bars.
it's the chorus even is going to the circus caller.
Yeah.
Hurry and step right up. The greatest show on earth is evidence. Hurry and step right up. Pull up a chair. Word up.
Legendary beat. Man, hard hitting beat too. So then from there we move on to Service, and then we goes to Eardrums Pop. Honorable mention to Annihilation. That was another one that I liked. Triple Optics was also another good one. Worth the Ingles, another good one. This whole album, man. But we're going to Eardrums Pop as the third and final track.
Yeah. First verse comes from Evidence. I got 61 keys with delays. I'm vocally blown, but never thrown into the maze. With no amp, I found my way out the first time round. The genius is going to say...
With no amp, I found my way out the first time round.
Yeah. Then never went back without my bloodhound. Oh, nice. So the bloodhound's going to sniff out the location. You know how the bloodhounds would do that for like detectives and stuff.
And I think metaphorically with no amp is like with no backing, no industry, pushing my music, I found my way out, the first time round still. Like, that's also pretty dope too.
Yeah, that's what Genius is alluding to, the fact that it's like no backing, no
forget Genius.
Whether it be because it's me, I'm the Genius.
Yeah, well, yes. Well, tell them.
Yeah, Genius, me.
Well,
tell
Genius. Well, tell Genius. Isaiah said that. But yeah, that's pretty dope.
Then never went back without my bloodhound. I vowed to hit the beat right, the crowd, light them up. I don't see night. Mark the spot with the X. People in debt. Make promises with beats on diskettes. Yo, you feeling him yet? Then make some noise with your voice box. One word, 4 syllable, unorthodox.
That's hard.
Dog.
1 word, 4 syllables.
Rhyming a good example. That's
unorthodox.
That's always been the best way where teachers can actually thrive. If an English teacher is actually able to like utilize hip hop, they can make punchlines that'll describe nouns, describe verbs, all that good stuff. Looking at you, Wordsworth. Describe my style best. I attack, never rest. Cause in my sleep, a metronome click beats on my chest till I wake. Shit, automate my mix. Total control over my highs and my kicks should fit. You don't stop till I executed the plot while Babs sets up shop to make your eardrums pop. Watch your eardrums pop. So the eardrums pop, high elevation. So you're getting a highly elevated sound. Yeah. This is, it's kind of they don't. What's crazy? They don't really make mention of high altitudes or anything besides that in any of the verses yet. But we'll see as we go further along in the verses.
Yeah, I mean, if not that, the beat's banging so hard that it's gonna make your eardrums pop. So either one.
Yeah,
they say that the I think it was, who was it? Was it DJ Quick or Exhibit? I think it was Exhibit. Exhibit said that he went into Dr. Dre's studio and Dr. Dre's bumping it so loud that he thought his ears were gonna burst, like he was never gonna hear again. Like, because it was so loud.
Damn.
Can you imagine the most supreme? Because he has to have the most supreme sound
Oh,
system.
for
and
sure.
You're just hearing you're hearing beats that only he's heard in the purest form.
Yeah. banging too,
Yeah.
banging
yeah.
loud. Surprised it didn't leak. How much is banging? Verse 2, Iris Science. The DJ's in effect, keep holding it down. Dilated, we're correctly holding the crown. Plus, we keep a set of keys to the golden sound. It's that shit you bump loud when you're rolling in town. It's the art of showdowns. I'm quick to show clowns. I bring it like, sucker, where's your threshold now? This life under pressure in the eye of the storm. I like the eye thing, the motif.
Yeah.
To find the root, I take it to the hive of the swarm. Woo! He'll bring it right to your beehive. Like, calm down. I execute the Grandmaster Rock Raider. Congratulations, brother. You swinging hot fader. From LA, I spit rock sedated. Oh, there you go. Sedated sediment. Sediment. That leaves craters. Some are less than, some equal, none the greater. Duck, you gunplay. I'm loving the sun rays. I love that, man. Because it's so contrast to the gunplay talk. Duck the gunplay. I love the sun rays. Used to party Friday, Saturday, and pray on Sunday. But I figured out in life that there's more than one way. That's why I'm doing things I always knew I'd do one day. I've seen many lands and tasted the best crop. I witnessed many cultures expressed through hip hop.
Simple and effective.
What a
lyricism.
bar. What a bar. I witnessed many cultures expressed through hip hop. That's crazy bar. I'm building with the science that De La dropped. That means it might blow up, but it won't go pop.
Yeah. It's blowing up. It's going against the lyrics.
That was hard.
Drake heard that and was just like,
No, that was
rest in peace, Drake.
That was dope because like he was. Damn. No, that was dope because it really was. Well, honestly, I would say I won't. Well, I don't know what the number is on this, but I would say most rappers. I don't know what that number, 50%, 70%, 80%, whatever. But I would think, at least during this time, most rappers would want to be in that what I call sweet spot, where your music is hot enough where you're making very good money off of it,
Right.
but you can still go to Walmart. You know what I mean? To where you're not popped to that, you know what I mean, element to where you can still do regular life.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's the sweet spot a lot of rappers either want to be or at minimum at least want to be that part. Some maybe want to go pop. But
I feel like these guys could maybe do that. Maybe.
Yeah.
They're known, but I don't think they're put in the mainstream like a Snoop Dogg or
right,
something.
right. They could, like I said, they could go to Walmart and do what they got to do and leave. Like that's what I mean.
But they're legends.
Oh,
like,
legendary. I mean, I've heard, one of my favorite lines ever from Currency. He said, famous enough where I get in for free, but not so famous that people keep bothering me. Like that is just like, to me, the ultimate where, it's like, and I feel like that line kind of was a different way to say that. Like,
that got to be really satisfying too, because you as an MC, just imagine like you're able to get groceries, like you're able to go to like a Kroger, Ralph's or whatever, just like grab your groceries, bounce. But at a dedicated hip hop show, everyone's going to be fiending for like the way you rap, the autograph or whatever. But after that's done, you're
regular.
Back to reality.
Regular.
That's dope.
That's the sweet spot, because we now know that, like, look at the ultimate example. Like, look at how Michael Jackson rolled. He couldn't go anywhere.
Couldn't do anything.
And then Eminem can't go anywhere.
He can't go outside.
He changed his blonde hair. He can't go anywhere still. Get the whole
Eminem
full
can't go outside.
beard.
Nope.
There's the levels to it. There's that ultimate formula where we can put it on a graph. But I mean, like, the more relevant and famous you are, the least secretive your life can be.
Yep.
It's
true.
Does Kanye still has that problem, right? Kanye.
Bro, Kanye can't go.
He can't go anywhere. Even at this point, as crazy as he's been and stuff he said, he can't. Actually, that's made it worse.
Yeah, he's dealing with so many things. Like, you're talking like the fashion side, the hip hop side. There's too many people like
tabloid side. It just he can't go outside. No. He can't.
But man, our thoughts on this album? Like, what are your final thoughts on this one?
To me, it's just pure hip hop, and I don't mean to say that in as a diss to any other form of hip hop, but I mean in the purest form of, like, not trying to be not trying to conform to anything.
Yeah.
2, literally, like I said, just strictly beats and rhymes. I'm not trying to beat you over the head with some. And again, that's not a diss to, certain other types of artists, because that message is necessary too. Like Public Enemy was necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? NWA was necessary.
Yeah.
But at the
Mobb
same,
Deep was
you know what I
necessary.
mean? Right. But at the same time, you could also have this middle ground of just dudes. Like I said, it's just dudes rhyming. Yeah. They'll throw jewels in the rhymes, but it's not like I said, they're not trying to beat you over the head with like a conscious message per se.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, lyrically, you got to take them serious.
Yeah.
And that to me is what goes
above
all.
It's not like preachy either.
At all.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
And if it would be found in the lyrics. Yeah. Like there's rappers that are as lyrical as Dilated Peoples, but you'll hear them constantly preach, we got to bring hip hop back.
Right, yeah.
There'll be people like that. They don't. They trust in themselves, knowing that, hey, look, as long as I keep it to where I'm still real to myself, people are still going to feel it because I'm still spewing out good lyricism. Within myself, there's good lyricism. That's where you're just like, you're kind of unstoppable because everyone's going to like you from every sort of way. Even at the pop level, people are saying like, oh, that was creative. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that in their name. Like they have the people, like, that's kind of like the center focus is the people, the vibe, keeping that right. And it's kind of like what they revolve around, is kind of like getting the people together, and the movement, that's what they represent to me, is like a movement of people, of hip hop, of good vibes, and like beating the struggle, like whatever, beating the empire, whatever, however you want to put it. I feel like that they're just organic, grassroots, like, that's kind of like the best thing you could get, out of a group that just organically meets up, connects, vibes, has a rich history, just like in the hip hop space, coming out of LA, different from the sounds that we were getting out of LA, just also notable. That just shows you to, how dope these cats were. Like, it's not like they didn't like G-Funk or nothing like that. It's just that they just didn't vibe like that. They vibe differently. They weren't gangbanging.
We can have different sounds in LA.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what's dope.
Yeah.
That to me was the best part about it. Like you can do other things in West Coast hip hop. It doesn't have to be, gangster rap or G-Funk.
And then out of it coming a great producer like the Alchemist.
Alchemist
is very revered as Kendrick Lamar rapped on one of the Alchemist's beats.
A few of them.
Yeah, it's very revered.
One of them in the Beef.
Producer to this day, like a producer who is kind of like a Yoda. Like he's kind of like hidden in this LA area, probably somewhere where you can connect with them and just independently he'll produce something for you. Like that's pretty sick. I love that about it. And I love the fact that he still will pop up at shows. He'll give up and coming artists props and giving them love. Yeah. That's also sick. And Evidence, I think, and Rakaa and even Babu, like even though they're not like right now together, like in the doing shows and all that, but they're on that same vibe, which is dope.
Yeah. It's been 10 years too long for the last album release.
Yeah.
2014,
And I feel like they could easily come back and just like, dude, right now's a good time.
They'd kill it again.
Yeah,
you
right
just keep the same system. Their band, their group is formulaic, but it's a consistent formula.
Because all their fans would feel the nostalgia even too. Like,
I would argue it would do well even with, like I said, with
overseas,
this and that, and also just with this renaissance that Alchemist has been on.
Right.
You bring him back in the fold.
Right.
It'd be the perfect time. You're absolutely right.
Like I said, Alchemist has been great forever, but I would say these last 5 years, 6 years,
he's been popping up.
From anything from, like I said, from Griselda to Kendrick to Larry June to Big Sean.
Yeah, even doing things with Hit Boy.
Hit Boy, right? Yeah. I mean, the range Alchemist has been on lately has been nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He did a whole album with Freddie Gibbs.
The influence is
crazy.
Yeah, he's been showing a lot more influence lately. Yeah, I think it all plays back to like people recognizing or giving flowers to the people like that they know have influenced them in their work. Like Alchemist has been a big influence. In the early days of hip hop for myself, but for many others. So that's also dope. And he has his own album too. He actually rapped on an album. Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, Alchemist is spit sometimes. Him and Hit Boy have a song rapping.
Yeah. So that's also pretty dope. So peace to Dilated Peoples, Evidence, Rakaa, Babu, and their fourth member, Alchemist, for this dope album, The Platform. This was a classic, and it will, forever be just a legendary album. And out of this spawned more great albums that just really kind of carried the torch during that period of time when we needed it. So that's also pretty dope, because during that time too, you have the gangster rap reignited with 50 Cent.
The Game.
The Game. So that was a period of time when we needed these voids to be filled.
You need a balance.
Yeah, we needed a balance. So peace to them. If you guys haven't checked out this album, please check out this album. Let us know in the comments what tracks that you guys liked, what bars that hit differently for you, what you think about Evidence or Rakaa or Babu or Alchemist. What these players in hip hop mean to you, and how they've shaped how they've influenced you as an MC or an artist or a fan even.
Yep.
And also let us know any recommendations of any songs or albums that you guys want us to cover. We're going to be reading comments and maybe giving you guys a shout out if we see some comments out there.
Hey, imagine if all our homies subscribed.
That's never going to happen, but yeah.
True that.
Imagine.
For real. Yeah. We should honestly have
subscribe. What type of Care Bears?
We should have
system?
like 5,600 subscribers right now.
I just picture all of our friends like the Care Bears, like all standing in line. Let's subscribe.
Yeah, right. We're like literally like Goku for the Spirit Bomb, and we only have like 600 of it.
Yeah,
we need mad amounts for it.
Come on now.
Go ahead and Spirit Bomb us out of here, Mark.
To the MCs, drop a mic, drop a like, and a sub. Yeah, I like what you're doing with that hip hop show, man. Did you sub?
Did you sub?
Seriously though.
Dead stop. Did
Yeah.
you sub though?
Did you sub?
Otherwise, the conversation does not continue.